is the true posture in prayer, taken from Luke 18:9 to 14. Luke 18:9 to 14, the true posture in prayer. And it says from 9, to some who are confident in their own righteousness and looked down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He will not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. So here we find two gentlemen who've gone to present themselves before God to pray and call on the Lord, call upon heaven regarding their issues. And so there's a stark contrast between the Pharisee and the tax collector, because the Pharisee's prayer is quite comical. You know, he goes there and he says the way is not like the others. So in a way, he justifies himself on account of his goodness. But on the other side, we see the tax collector also coming to posture before the Lord. And his was commended. I would say his was accepted because of the posture of his heart. He had humility. He did not go there to chest stamp. He rather just beat, maybe that was a pun, but he rather went there and he did not even look up to heaven. He did not have the audacity to go and tell God the way he does things by the book, the way things are, the way he fasts, maybe he gives of his zakah and things like those. But he just said, I know I am sinner. I know that to be true, that I have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and therefore I'm just asking that you would have mercy on me, a sinner. And to God, that was the right posture. Because many times when we go before God, perhaps we want to go and use all the vocabulary that we can use. And like today, we were talking about closing eyes in prayer and also opening them. I think there's a consensus that we need not to distract. And I also caught a preacher, it was John Corson actually, who said that sometimes when we worship congregationally, we might distract others because perhaps we get to worship, and because of the whole movement thing, maybe we are also just praying aloud. It stops being my prayer because it distracts my neighbor. Now my neighbor has to sit back and say, okay, I have to now listen along to the other prayer because this other person is praying too loudly. So what is the true posture? I would say that the posture that the tax collector had when he went before the Lord, it was accepted because he went home justified. He did not go there with a list of things that he wanted. He did not go there to brag and say the way he's the right person. The Pharisee went and said, I'm not like these others, the murderers, evildoers, adulterers. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all that I get. Therefore, if there's anything that we can get from this parable, is that even as we go to God to pray, our posture matters. Our intentions also matter before the Lord. And these God can tell way before we even go. Sometimes we are called upon to even make public prayers. I would say that even then, those of us who've gone to pray on behalf of others before the altar, or maybe there's a prayer group and you've been called upon to sum up the prayers of others, even then, our posture should be twice as a posture of the tax collector, twice as much. Why? Because we are representing the prayers of others. Therefore, we shouldn't put in our own prayers, or if I would say we should not go there with the mind of going to pray. Watasikiliza, they will hear me today, they will see how I pray. But it's a prayer, a posture of brokenness that should come out of us, not a posture of self-exaltation, because Jesus said that all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be what? They will be exalted. I want to be exalted. Therefore, I know what posture I have to take. Amen. It's now